Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All together, please. Om Jnana Tamarandasya Kanandana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Sabhadutam Prijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamsha He Krishna Karana Sindhu Dhina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapcha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishabhana Sudadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So, reading from Srimad Bhagavad-Gita as it is, translation and commentary is Divine Grace, Sri Bhakti-Vedanta Goswami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Today's text, number 4445, chapter 11, the universal form. So, 2 verses. So, we'll just chant them line by line, okay? Tasmad pranamya parijhaya kayam prasadaye tvam aham isham ijam piteva putrasya sakeva sakyu priya priya yahasi deva shuddhum adasa purvam hasitosmi dristva bhayena cha pravyahitam mano me tad eva me darshaya deva rupam prasida devesha jagat nivasa. Translation Srila Prabhupada. Text number 44. You are the Supreme Lord, to be worshipped by every living being. Thus I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances and ask for your mercy. As a father tolerates the impudence of a son, a friend the impertinence of a friend, or a husband the familiarity of his wife, please tolerate the wrongs I may have done you. It should be done to you. So, please repeat. You are the Supreme Lord, to be worshipped by every living being. Thus I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances and ask for your mercy. As a father tolerates the impudence of his son, a friend the impertinence of a friend, or a husband the familiarity of his wife, please tolerate the wrongs I may have done to you. So, text 45, English translation, Srila Prabhupada. After seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened, but at the same time my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as the personality of Godhead, O Lord of Lords, O abode of the universe. Please repeat. After seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened, but at the same time, my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal to me your form as the personality of Godhead, O Lord of Lords, O abode of the universe. Mukam karochi vachalam pangam laite grim yad kripatamaham vande Sri Guru Dinatarinam. So, tasmad pranamya pranidhaya khayam prasade tvam aham isham idyam piteva putrasya sakeva sakyuhu priyaha priyaharse deva shuddhum. You are the Supreme Lord, to be worshipped by every living being. Thus I fall down and offer you respectful obeisances and ask for your mercy. As a father tolerates the impudence of his son, a friend the impertinence of a friend, or a husband the familiarity of his wife, please tolerate the wrongs I may have done to you. Purport Srila Prabhupada. Krishna's devotees relate to Krishna in various relationships. One might treat Krishna as a son, one might treat Krishna as a husband, as a friend, or as a master. Krishna and Arjuna are related in friendship. As the father tolerates, or the husband or a master tolerates, so Krishna tolerates. Number 45. Adrishtapurvam harsitosmi drisva bhayena cha pravahitam mano me tadeva me darsaya deva rupam prasida deveshe jagan nivasa. After seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened, but at the same time my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as the personality of Godhead, O Lord of Lords, O abode of the universe. So you've already done that, right? You've already repeated that. So now the purport. Arjuna is always in confidence with Krishna because he is a very dear friend, and as a dear friend he is gladdened by his friend's opulence. Arjuna is very joyful to see that his friend Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and can show such wonderful universal form. But at the same time, after seeing that universal form, he is afraid that he has committed so many offenses to Krishna out of his unalloyed friendship. Thus his mind is disturbed out of fear, although he had no reason to fear. Arjuna therefore is asking Krishna to show his Narayan form because he can assume any form. This universal form is material and temporary, as the material world is temporary. But in the Vaikuntha planets he has his transcendental form with 4 arms as Narayan. There are innumerable planets in the spiritual sky, and in each of them Krishna is present by his plenary manifestations of different names. Thus Arjuna is desiring to see one of the forms manifest in the Vaikuntha planets. Of course, in each Vaikuntha planet, the form of Narayan is four-handed, but with the four hands, but the four hands hold different arrangements of symbols: the conch shell, mace, lotus, and disc. According to the different hands these four things are held in, the Narayans are variously named. All of these forms are one with Krishna. Therefore, Arjuna requests to see his four-handed feature. Mukum karochi vachalam pangam laited grim yad kripatamon mande Shri Guru dinatarinam. Tasmad pranamaya pranaya kayam prasade tvam aham isha idyam piteva putrasya sakeva sakyu priya priya harsi deva sudhum. Tasmad pranamaya pranaya. Adrista purvam hasitosmi dristva payena cha pranihitam mano me tadeva me darshaya deva rupam prasida devesha jagan nivasa. So this is Arjuna with mixed emotions. He's disturbed, as in today's second verse. Arjuna is explaining, I'm very happy to see your opulence, Krishna, but I'm very disturbed with fear. So he's happy on one side, but he's fearful. So he's happy, this is, as Prabhupada explains, this is the Supreme Lord, but I may have been very familiar with him in the past. There's talk about that, right? Maybe in the past I lay on the bed with you, I joked with you, and so on and so forth. But you're the Supreme Lord. So this is Aishwarya Bhav. But Arjuna is the friend of Krishna. Prabhupada explains there in the purport of the first verse that we're doing today, Krishna's devotees relate to Krishna in various relationships. One might, as a son, a husband, or a friend, or a master. So Krishna and Arjuna are related in friendship. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya says, I have come to make the world dance with Charibhav. Charibhav means the four bhavas, but particularly the four bhavas of intimate love of Godhead, devoid of Aishwarya. So Aishwarya means opulence. As we know, the 6 categories of opulence are given there, right? Beauty, strength, renunciation, fame, and knowledge, but also opulence. So Krishna's opulence, Arjuna is realizing, is unlimited. And so he is realizing, I'm just a tiny spirit soul. So it's natural that when you're in the presence of something gigantic or unlimited and you realize that you're very small, then it's natural that you become a little nervous, right? Children are nervous about adults, and we're nervous about elephants. So anything that's bigger than us, naturally, we're careful with. So Arjuna has that emotion. He's realizing, oh, this is the Supreme Lord. This is not just my friend. And now he's my chariot driver. What situation is this? He's the Supreme Lord, and I'm going to shout at him, go left, go right, go straight. So Arjuna is still taking all this information in. Prabhupada, one lecture, he says, yes, Krishna is showing Arjuna the universal form. So if somebody claims to be God, we can ask them, show your universal form. Of course, nobody can come even close to that. Prabhupada explained that. People claiming to be God, but they don't know what God is. Of course, when they say, in India this happens a lot, right? They call them God men or something. They say, I am become God. They don't really mean, you have to understand Mayavadi philosophy. They don't really mean that I've become the supreme personal God, like Krishna, like Hiranyakashipu. He wanted to take the place of the Supreme Lord. So they don't think like that. When they say, oh, this Swami is God, what they mean is that through his sadhana or somehow or other through his guru, he has unified his consciousness with the unlimited monistic oneness. You understand? And therefore, he has attained godhood. So that is when they say, this Swami is God or this and that. This is much of the conception. Because they don't believe in the final point of a supreme person. They just believe that the final point is that energy is the final point. That there's the Brahman energy. We know that as the Brahmajyoti, the effulgence of Krishna, but they think that this is the ultimate. But we know, it's in the Shastra, what's that verse? Haranmayena patrena satyasya pahitam mukam. O Supreme Lord, please remove your dazzling effulgence. Satyama dristaye. So I can see your form of bliss. So yes, we say there is the Brahman, of course, but beyond that Brahman, so to speak, figuratively, there is the form of Krishna. And that form is the source of the Brahman. So ultimately, aham sarvasya prabhavo, the personality of Krishna, the form of Krishna, is the source of the energy. And that's very simple to understand. Just like we have energy, right? We are people, we are persons, so the energy is under our control. You can say we are generating energy. A power station is generating energy, but there are people in charge. There's a person in charge. So this conception that the Mayavadis have, that the ultimate principle, the ultimate absolute truth is just some kind of energy. And they call this Sat, eternal. And they say it is Nirvisesh and Nirgun. Nirvisesh means without variety, Nirgun, without quality. But the quality of existence is in itself a quality. Correct? Do you understand? If something existing, that is itself a quality. The quality of existing is the very basis of all other qualities. But you can't say it isn't a quality. The quality that you exist is definitely a characteristic. So the Supreme Lord exists, or just to say that the Brahman exists, is to contradict the idea that it has no quality. And also, unless an object or an entity can manifest some quality even beyond existence, how do you know it exists? What's the proof? Right? Unless you can smell it, see it, touch it, hear it, taste it, or feel its presence, its existence, how do you know it exists? And so if you're smelling, tasting and hearing, and then you're getting the quality of taste, the quality of hearing, the quality of form. So that's why Shankaracharya, he says, nahi rakshati dukrin karine. He says, bhaja govindam mudamate. Don't juggle all these words, saying that the absolute truth is just Sat. has no form, no qualities. He has no material qualities. He has no material variety. He is spiritual. That is the correct understanding. So the Shastra does say nirvisesh nirguna, but that means that the absolute truth, Narayan paro vyaktat. Prabhupada always quotes that from the Sharika Bhashya of Shankaracharya. It means that Narayan is paro vyaktat, superior to the vyaktat. Vyaktat means the material world. Avyaktat means the unmanifest spiritual world. So they have the wrong definition of God, and with that wrong understanding, they think you can become God. That you can unite yourself with the Brahman, and then you'll be able to be on the Hindi movies, and without special effects, have a power beam that you put on your disciple, because you're controlling the energy, you see. So of course this is very offensive, because this is why Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, the Leelas that they have, they were not very happy at all. They weren't just neutral about Mayavadis, but they were angry with them. There's a story of Lord Nityananda coming across the Buddhists meditating on the void, which is more or less the same as the monistic idea, and he was furious with them. So why is it? So a devotee, Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, they're in full realization of the personality of Godhead. But they're not only just realized, they are spiritually, in terms of prem, they're in love with the Supreme Lord. So when somebody goes around saying that their beloved Lord is without form, without quality, without personality, this is distressful for the devotee. So this is the source of the aparadi. That's why it is in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says Mayavadi Krishna aparadi. And there's that Mayavadi Bhashya Bhakti Sunile Vinash. If you study Mayavad, it'll destroy your bhakti, because it's composed of by Lord Shiva in his form as Shankaracharya, and it is highly powerful tamasic. Of course, if you're a Vaishnav, a realized Vaishnav, that means realized in your relationship of the Supreme Lord, you won't be bothered by it. But for the neophyte, it is dangerous, because the neophyte is standing on loose ground in terms of realization. He hasn't realized Krishna. He hasn't realized that the name of Krishna is non-different from Krishna. He hasn't understood the form of Krishna. He hasn't understood Achincha Beda Bed. So therefore, he's still in this idea that the materialists often have, that this is the material world and the spiritual world is opposite. It must be without form, without personality. It must be opposite. Because in the material world, we are used to this dualistic view of reality. Friends and enemies, like and dislike, hot and cold. So therefore, this is our mental, intellectual coordinate. So then when we speculate about the absolute truth, then we also think in those dualistic way, yin and yang. This is yang and that's yin. Or this is yin and that's yang. Or this is that and this is that. It's got to be opposite, we think. This is the relative world, friends and enemies. But the absolute truth is beyond. The form of Krishna is beyond the limitations of the material world. The limitations in the material world are form, time and space, and karma, of course. But things are controlled by time in this world, the laws of karma, the environment, but the Supreme Lord form is eternal, and it is unlimited. And here is mentioned Narayan. Arjuna wants to see the Narayan form because this universal form is related to the Narayan form, which is the Aishwarya form of Krishna. It's there in the Brahma Samhita Golokla Nijidamni Nijite Tale Tatasya Haridameshu Dharmeshu Te Te Pravava Nitya Vihitashayena Govindamadi Purisham Tamaham Bhajami. Lowest of all is Durga Dharma. This material world is called Durga Dharma. Durga means very difficult. Durga, very difficult to go. You can't get out of this material world without trouble. Then above Haridam, Lord Brahma tells us, is Maheshdam, abode of Lord Shiva. Then above that is Haridam, and that is the beginning of the Vaikuntha planets properly per se. So this, and there are many forms of Narayan. And all these forms that you're hearing here, Virat Rupa, and Nishringadev form, Vamana form, Matsya form, all the unlimited avatars of Krishna, they all have their own planet in the transcendental Vaikuntha realm. So they're all expansions of the Narayan form for Leela. But Krishna is a supreme personality. Ete ka angsha Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. That all the other incarnations mentioned before, this is in the Bhagavatam, are to fight the enemies of Indra. They're fighting, all the different Leelas, Matsya, Kurma, Buddha, all this. They are all fighting the demoniac forces. But Krishna is not really coming to fight the demoniac forces. We see in the Bhagavatam that Krishna is displaying the spiritual world. So Arjuna here, he has seen the forms of Narayan, if you like, the form of Narayan, how he has entered into the material universe, how he is supervising everyone's karma, how he is supervising the progress of time. He is seeing all that. He's seeing all that, but he's disturbed by it. So this is, we can understand, yes, that the ultimate destination, the ultimate home for the happiness of the living entity is with Krishna. The Leela of Krishna with the Brijbasis, that is what Lord Chaitanya has come to give. When he says, I've come to make the world dance with Charibhav, then that's what he's talking about. He wants to wake up the dormant relationship that everyone has with the Supreme Lord. As servant of the Master, Dasya Bhav. Then there is Sakya Bhav, friendship. Prabhupada mentions here, Arjuna's in this mood. And then there is the parental mood, the elderly people of, or the older people or the mature people in Golok. They look towards Krishna as their junior. And that is Vatsalya Bhav, characterized by protectiveness and affection. And then above that is Madhurya Bhav. That is the most intimate. As Prabhupada, it's very interesting. Actually, it's Krishna. Oh, no, Arjuna. You see, in this first verse, familiarity of the wife, Arjuna is referring to madhurya ras here, conjugal ras. Friend, impertinence. Son, that is vatsalya. So in this way, Arjuna is referring to all the different relationships, and just tolerate me, O Supreme Lord. I want to see your Narayan form now. So Arjuna is enwrapped, enthralled by the majesty of the Supreme Lord, his power, his ability to create unlimited universes, unlimited living entities. He's starting to realize that. So that is the verse, Yastu sarvani bhutani atmene evanapashati sarva bhuteshu chadmanam tato na vijigupshate. Yeah, that's the three things of the purely realized devotee. The Uttamadhikari, he sees everything in relationship to the Supreme Lord. So Arjuna's seeing that factually in the universal form. All living entities as his part and parcels, angsa, sarvabhuteshu chatmanam. So he's seeing all the living entities, they're also belonging to Krishna. And then he's seeing sarvabhuteshu, that I am within every living entity, that Krishna is within every living entity. So he's seeing those three things that are there at the topmost level of Krishna consciousness. Sadhana. This will transform you into an Uttamadhikari. To see everything in the relationship, it's verse number 6, Ishopanishad. Everything in relationship to Supreme Lord, all living entities as his part and parcels, Atma, Angsa, and everything within the Supreme Lord, and the Supreme Lord within everything. So Krishna is giving that topmost Uttamadhikari realization to Arjuna through the universal form. But Arjuna is disturbed. So he doesn't want to see how Paramatma is giving the fruits of his activities to all the living entities. He doesn't want to see all the death and destruction that this material world is. And also, Krishna tells Arjuna earlier, he said, you can see anything you want in this universal form. That means whatever you want, you desire to see, past, present or future, you can look into this form and see it. So that's quite an amazing thing, isn't it? We read this chapter, of course it's a number of verses, but it's really quite extraordinary if you sit down and contemplate it and use your imagination, that Krishna and Arjuna there in Kurukshetra, and Arjuna was seeing the whole universe, creation, past, present and future in one place. So this is a very extraordinary thing. So of course Arjuna is disturbed, fearful by this. He's in anxiety. He's very happy, this is my Supreme Lord, but because of the Aishwarya aspect, he's feeling fearful. So we know that that relationship doesn't please Krishna as well as the intimate relationship. Just like it is explained there, that when Lord Brahma, he was after, the Leela where he stole the cowherd boys away. So then, of course, Krishna replaced them, and then Krishna gave darshan to Brahma a year later, and Gopal, it was Krishna as Gopal, and he was holding, they say, acharyas say, he was holding sweet in his hand. And he was there, small boy. And Lord Brahma, he was offering all these wonderful prayers. You can read them in chapter 14, 10th canto. Very wonderful prayers. Also in the 10th canto, very good chapter to read is Prayers of the Personified Vedas. Anyway, Lord Brahma, you can imagine, he is the intelligence of the universe, if you want to understand. Just like we have a little intelligence in this body, and it regulates this body. The intelligence regulates the body. So this universe is regulated by the intelligence of Lord Brahma. If this universe, one of billions universes floating in the causal ocean, if you consider it as a body, then it is the body of Lord Brahma. Just like you have a body. So Lord Brahma is the intelligence of the universal body. So now to run this body doesn't take much intelligence. But to run the universe, now just imagine. To regulate earth, water, fire, air, ether, seasons, karma, this, that, and everything, and you're managing it. Even Panchagoda couldn't do it. Well, maybe he could. Well, I'm sure he would think he could. But you'd have to be empowered by Krishna. So, these prayers of Lord Brahma are so wonderful and perfect. But Gopal is sitting there with his laddu. And he's thinking, when is Lord Brahma going to finish so I can eat this laddu and play with my friends? So this is Krishna. This is the Krishna that we are trying to understand. That yes, there is the aspect of God as power and Aishwarya, controller and everything, giving the fruits of one's work, maintaining the universe, winding up. Yes, there is God, and that is Aishwarya, but he's not into that. Because what is the material world? Durga means it is the prison house. So the king of a country doesn't spend his happy days in the prison house. He wants to spend it outside with his friends. He has to construct the prison house. It's a lot of trouble for him. Expenditure. Of course, for Krishna it's no difficulty. But the point is, his favored place is the spiritual world. But Krishna does come to the material world to display his pastimes and say, come up here, come to the spiritual world. But the spirit soul, but in this spiritual world, in the Golok, like I say, there is Durgagam, Maheshdam, and then there's Haridam in the Vaikunthas. And there's unlimited Vaikuntha planets of all the Narayan expansions. But it had explained that Goloka Vrindavan, which is in the form of a lotus petal in the spiritual world, and the center of which is Goloka, Krishna's pastimes, and there's also another region there, Svetadweep, Lord Chaitanya. So this region is without that sense of Aishwarya, of the Supreme Lord, the people. They don't think that this is the Supreme Lord. They think that he is the darling of Mother Yashoda. And the gopis think that he is the misbehaving son of Nanda Maharaj. And the cowherd boys, they think he's our good wrestling partner, right? And the servants think, well, why is he always making jokes in the morning when we're trying to put on his mukut? He's always in a jolly mood. So this is the Supreme Lord. He's beyond Aishwarya. And it explains in the Shastra that the prayers of like that, Lord Brahma and the great demigods and the great Vedic hymns, I'm sure you've read there in Krishna book, that Krishna, he prefers the chastisement of the gopis. The demigods, they may put on these huge yagyas and chant the Purusha Shukta and the Samaveda and all those amazing melodic parts of the Vedas. And Krishna, as Narayan, he may come even to the sacrifice and give blessings. But his heart is really with the gopis and Mother Yashoda and the cowherd boys. And Lord Chaitanya is advising everyone, hey, okay, in the period of sadhana, mam namaskaru, approach with awe and reverence, but I'm giving you access, Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nitya, to that realm, Goloka Vrindavan, where Krishna is nervous when he sees Lalita Shaki, because she may chastise him. And Krishna is stealing butter from the houses of the gopis. And he's making a garland for Srimati Radharani on the bank of the Jamuna. So that is the realm of, that is the real spiritual world. And this material world that people, man-made religion, they make idea of God as very angry God, destroys the land and this and that. That is because they are speculating and looking from the material angle. But by grace of 6 Goswamis, Lord Chaitanya, we have insight, not through mental speculation, but through the words of the great acharyas, and we can see into the spiritual world. And that is our preparation, because that is the purpose. Vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham, nate vidu swa swastakatim hi Vishnu. People don't know what the aim of life is. It is to learn the all-pervasive human life. The central aim is to learn the personality of Godhead. Learn. And so this is the Vedas. It's so wonderful. The whole Vedanta Krit Veda Videva Chaham, the whole idea of the Vedas, the Gita, the Bhagavatam, all the acharyas, everything is simply to reveal Goloka Krishna. Golokam. That verse, Shriya Kanta Kanta Parama Purusha Kaltaravo. At the end of the Brahma Samhita, it's explaining about the spiritual world. Every word is a song, every step is a dance. The spiritual entities are all enjoyable and tasty. There's no anxiety. And Krishna there is chastised by his devotees and his mother Yashoda. Everyone loves Krishna, but he is also just part of the community, if you like. But of course he is the most special part. So, yes, it is natural Arjuna is nervous, because this material world, when you see just a little bit of it, can you imagine? You may have seen a car accident. It's a very terrible thing. But here's Mother Yashoda. Here is Krishna. He's Arjuna looking. He's seeing everything in the material world. It's not good. So people without Guru, without Parampara, without Vedas, naturally they want to know God. It's the human tendency. They want to analyze. But if they just speculate, they can never really come to the proper conclusion. So Prabhupada, all the acharyas, they have given us the duty to spread this knowledge. Jai. Srila Prabhupada Bhagavad-Gita ki Jai. So, any questions? Thank you for your attention.
You were explaining how dangerous the Mayavadi is for us.
For a neophyte. Yeah, go on anyway, go on.
Yeah, so the Mayavadi philosophy is very dangerous for us in our time. But some of the modern scientific theories, social theories, also Mayavadis are not like people go to university to study psychology and things. The Mayavad also comes into difference.
Yeah, well, this, I think I know what you're getting towards. Yeah, you see, the thing is, we don't know Krishna. We're in the material world. Conditioned soul, he doesn't know Krishna. So what does he know? He knows this world, right? We're born as child and we grow into this world. So we're trying to figure out what is this world. But we only come across energy. Right? People are there, mother, father, friends, community, whatever. But when we examine the world, the materialists, they examine the matter. So the matter is impersonal. So without knowledge coming from above, superior disciplic succession, knowledge, the tendency is that you're going to think that God is just energy. This is His energy, and God is energy. Right? Just like you look at the sun. So a very primitive person without knowledge may think the sun is the most powerful thing in the sky. That's God. But then the Mayavadi comes along and he says, no, the sun is not God. The energy within the sun, that is God. So many scientists, they come to Buddhistic, monistic conclusions like this. This is their string theory. They think that there's a string upon which everything is resting and countering entropy. Of course, we have thread theory, Sutrimani Ganaiva. But so they are at the Mayavadi, the monistic inquiry, they will look at the sun and say, yes, it has a form, but the real thing is the energy. So that's a bit like the Mayavadi. He says, Jagat Mithya. All this variety, it's illusion, but beyond it is the energy within it, you see? And they call that seeing the light, seeing the energy, not the form. But then the Vaishnav comes along and he says to the farmer who's worshipping the sun, he says, no, the sun is not God. He's a created object. And yes, he's giving you energy, and that is coming from God. But it's coming from the personal God. You understand? So if the ignorant person gets good instruction that all the energy that you see and that leads you to think that therefore the ultimate absolute truth is just energy, please consider, the Vaishnava says, that this energy has emanated and is under the control of a person, just like your energy is, just like your energy is. Huh? And energy, you know, it's within a battery. But the energy within a battery doesn't decide to somehow walk out of the battery and go for a walk, have a pastime. Energy is impersonal. So therefore, without knowledge, disciplic succession, very hard to come to the conclusion of a personal God, except in a kind of sentimental way. You know, God is there, He's there. But what He's doing and this. But so generally the Mayavadis or the intellectuals, Gyan, on the path of Gyan, tend to be impersonalistic. Because when they inquire into this world, they only come across impersonal energy. And then they think that there must be a big reservoir of energy beyond this variety of energy. So they speculate. So that goes very nicely in the Mayavadi idea, you see. But we say, yes, there is the Brahman. Yes, there is energy. But it's from an energetic. But that energetic person, Atakshri Krishna Namadi, is beyond your material senses. It's spiritual. So you have to purify your mind and consciousness. Then you can directly perceive that Supreme Lord by His grace, just like Krishna. By His grace He's showing Arjuna. So yes, we're in the material world, but we can also go to the spiritual world. But we have to purify ourselves. Then we can go. You see, that's what the Mayavadi, like I started at the beginning. Mayavadi Swami thinks, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to do meditation or some kind of sadhana on the Brahman. Arjuna says this is difficult because there's no variety in it. So you're just thinking of some light, which in itself is a quality. So you just think, so Prabhupada and all the Acharyas, Vaishnava, this is kind of very difficult because it's boring. We want variety. We want interaction, and just a big bright light meditating on that. It's not going to satisfy you for, more than half an hour. You may be able to sit down and do breathing exercises and feel peaceful for half an hour. But then you want to be active, right? So that's what they do. They come home and they do breathing exercises. It's good what they're doing. And they feel some kind of Brahman spirituality. But they need instruction of Vaishnava Guru to go from the energy to the source of that. So whether you're a scientist inquiring into the nature of energy, or you're a yogi, or an amateur or anything, you really need instruction to get to the final point, because that is beyond you. Krishna said, Matak parataram nanyad kintid asti janandaya. There's nothing beyond me. Of course, the Buddhist will come and say, see, Krishna's teaching Buddhism. He's saying that beyond him there is nothingness into which we must enter. So therefore, voidism is the ultimate conclusion. So that's why we need disciplic succession, because, right, that's a perfectly, right, if I didn't have a purport or something and I read Prabhupada, there's nothing beyond me, Krishna says. Really? Oh, we must go to the nothingness beyond Krishna. So, but if I have a guru, I won't make that mistake. So that's the necessity. So we'll finish on this point. Thank you all very much. Everyone's very quiet today, subdued. Thank you for your kind attention. Mother Parvati went, yes? Today they took her.
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
But there is a memorial service
Saturday week.
Yeah, they'll have at 11 till 1 memorial service and then a feast for everybody.
Oh, that's nice. She got the Bhagavad-Gita class going again, you know that. So I used to always joke with her, oh, you'll probably go back to Godhead, Parvati Mataji, for starting the Bhagavad-Gita class again. Why not, huh? Shri Parvati Mataji ki Jai. Sadhu Sangha Bhagavad-Gita ki Jai. Hare Krishna.